Good morning students. Today we will talk about hyoid bond. So as you can see, it is a U-shaped bond. Okay, it is a U-shaped bond. It's a U-shaped bond. It is situated in the anterior midline of the neck above the thyroid cartilage at the level of third cervical vertebra. So hyoid bone is situated at the level of third cervical vertebra. Its body is the first resistant structure felt in the midline of the neck inferior to the chin. The tip of the greater cornu, this is the greater cornu. So the tip of the greater cornu of the hyoid can be palpated in the relaxed neck near the anterior border of the sternocleidomastoid muscle midway between laryngeal prominence and mastoid process. Now coming to the features and attachments of hyoid bone. The hyoid bone has a central body. So this part is the central body. Then there are a pair of greater cornu. In this part, in this side, the greater cornu is broken. So you can see the greater cornu here better. Okay. So on each side, there is a greater cornu. At the junction between the greater cornu and the body, you can see a conical projection, that is the lesser cornu. Okay, so you can see a central body, lesser cornu and greater cornu. These are the parts of hyoid bone. Now coming to the body, it has two surfaces, anterior surface and a posterior surface, two borders, upper border, lower border and two lateral ends. So this part is the body which I have held in between my thumb and the index finger. So it has an anterior surface, posterior surface, upper border, lower border and two lateral ends. Okay. Now coming to the surfaces. I will keep it here so that you can see it better. This is the anterior surface. This part you can see here is the anterior surface. This anterior surface is convex. It is convex. There is a median ridge which divides into two lateral halves. You can see the median ridge here. This is the median ridge. This is the median ridge dividing it into two lateral halves. What are the structures attached here? You can see in the human body there will be geniohyoid muscle here and mylohyoid muscle. So geniohyoid is attached in the upper part and mylohyoid is attached in the lower part. Hyoglossus muscle partly originates from the anterior surface. Below the insertion of the mylohyoid muscle, here is a mylohyoid attachment. Below that, there is attachment of investing layer of cervical fascia. Now coming to the posterior surface. So I will show you the posterior surface. This is the posterior surface. It is concave. It is concave. It is concave. And it is related to bursa, thyrohyoid membrane and epiglottis. Now coming to the upper border, it provides attachment. This is the upper border. It provides attachment to three structures from anterior to posterior. That is the genioglossus muscle, hyoepiglottic ligament and thyrohyoid membrane. So in this picture, you can see the sectional view of hyoid bone. So here is the hyoid bone. This is the upper surface. From anterior to posterior, you can see the genioglossus muscle, Then there is the hyoepiglottic ligament. This is a hyoepiglottic ligament connecting between the hyoid bone and the epiglottis. Then there is thyrohyoid membrane. This is the thyroid cartilage. You can see the thyrohyoid membrane. So all the structures are attached to the upper border of the body of hyoid bone. Now coming to the lower border of the hyoid bone. Lower border. So this is the lower border. Okay. Two muscles are mainly attached to this border on each side of the midline. This is a midline. From medial end there is sternohyoid muscle, and on the lateral end there is omohyoid muscle. Now I will show it in a diagram. So here you can see the diagram of the hyoid bone, the anterior view. Okay. So we have already seen that geniohyoid and mylohyoid is on the anterior surface, and on the lower border you can see sternohyoid medially and omohyoid laterally. Omohyoid laterally. So those are comes in the lower border. Okay. This geniohyoid and mylohyoid comes on the anterior surface. Now coming to the greater cornu. The singular for cornua is cornu, C-O-R-N-U. If it is plural, we will call it as cornua, C-O-R-N-U-A. So in general we will be talking about greater cornu. Okay. So each greater cornu has two surfaces. I have already told that this is the body which is central. This conical projection between the junction of the body and greater cornu is the lesser cornu. So this part is the greater cornu. Okay. This is the greater cornu. It has two surfaces. Upper surface and lower surface. Two borders, medial border and lateral border, and there is a tubercle at the end of the lateral border. It has an upper surface, lower surface, medial border or medial end and lateral end, and just lateral to the lateral end you can see the tubercle. Now coming to the attachments of each features. In the upper surface there is attachment of middle constrictor muscle, hyoglossus muscle, stylohyoid muscle and fibrous loop of digastric muscle. So the middle constrictor is along the whole length of the greater cornu. Along the whole length of the greater cornu, and below that there will be hyoglossus, that too the whole length, and stylohyoid muscle will be seen at the junction of the lesser cornu and the greater cornu. So stylohyoid muscle will come here. Here there will be middle constrictor. Below that you will have hyoglossus and stylohyoid muscle at the junction of lesser cornu and greater cornu. Then there is fibrous loop of digastric muscle attached lateral to the attachment of the stylohyoid muscle. So here there will be stylohyoid muscle. Just lateral to that you will get the fibrous loop of digastric muscle. The lower surface is separated from the thyrohyoid membrane by fibroareolar tissue. Now coming to the medial border, again it receives, so this is the medial border and it receives attachment from the thyrohyoid membrane. On the lateral border, this is the lateral border, thyrohyoid muscle is attached to it anterior, on the anterior aspect. Okay. So that's all about the greater cornu. Now coming to the lesser cornu. So we have already said that it is a small conical projection at the junction between the body and the greater cornu, and it may form a synovial joint with the greater cornu. and the structures attached to it are the stylohyoid ligament at the tip and middle constrictor posterolaterally. Stylohyoid ligament at the tip and middle constrictor posterolaterally. So once again the attachment posterolaterally. So we have already seen middle constrictor here. So this is the lesser cornu. So posterolaterally you have the attachment of the middle constrictor, and you have stylohyoid ligament attached to the tip. We saw this muscle, stylohyoid muscle here. Okay. In between the junction of the greater cornu and the lesser cornu, we will see the attachment of the stylohyoid ligament. Now you have to remember certain points about the hyoid bone. The lesser cornu and upper part of the body, so this part on each side, this is the midline, upper part of the body and the lesser cornu are developed from the second arch, whereas greater cornu and the lower part of the body are developed from third arch. There are certain congenital anomalies associated with developing of thyroid and are seen adjacent to the hyoid bone. Okay, they are suprahyoid thyroid, that is thyroid above the hyoid bone, infrahyoid thyroid and thyroglossal cyst. Sometimes a muscular band connects the body of hyoid with isthmus or pyramidal lobe of thyroid gland, and this is called as levator glandulae thyroidae, which you might have already seen during our dissection. Then the medico-legal importance of the hyoid bone is that in suspected cases of death, fracture of hyoid bone suggests death by throttling or strangulation. So that's all about hyoid bone. Have a nice day.